I'm going to be requesting Sabahat Khan Tatari Saiba to please come on stage. And thoda sa unka introduction karate huए. So Ms. Sabahat is the regional director of the North region, and she's been working in the education sector since the past 30 years. She's an educationist, she's a trainer, she's a consultant, and she's also a visit team member for the IBEN, which is the International Baccalaureate Education Network. She was also an assistant professor at the Center for English Language at the Aga Khan University and was also the head of education and teaching English as a second language department at BNU. She holds 2 master's degrees. One is an MA in English language teaching and multimedia from the University of Warwick, and she also has a master's in English literature from Punjab University. So on that note, please put your hands together for Ms. Sabahat.
Being a presenter, I always feel uncomfortable standing on a rostrum. So I'll just move it this way. All right. Once again, Assalamu alaikum, and it's totally a mesmerizing sight. Seeing from here, I can well understand how impressive, and I'm truly overwhelmed with that. This particular presentation is certainly, in connection to what Kashif and Athiya have talked about, but I'm talking more about the linkages of business and academics. What should be established, why I've used the word stock of the present, and even why I have used this particular font of agency FB is only because of the fact that I feel that now it is such an enterprising sort of an era where all of us are actually contributing to a very enterprising sort of an avenue where all of us are business leaders. And all of us are contributing to make our learners understand that there's much to do. There's much to do about how we are going to move forward and meet the needs of this particular era where there is a quantum leap. There's certainly a quantum leap in digitization. May I have that slide change, please? So I'll start with some of the works and some of the research studies have been done ages back, decades back, where John Dewey, who was 1952, he was no longer with us, and he said that all the learners are actually the proponent of active learning. 1952. So can we see decades back it was done. And now even in this era, in 23, the same has been argued and it has been established on the similar philosophy that we are using the children for some meaningful functionality, where they will be able to be self-directed learners. They need to be independent thinkers. They need to collaborate and critically evaluate their scenarios. So you have to be a self-directed teacher to develop self-directed learners. And this is where we talked about all the schools to be well equipped with this kind of philosophy that whatever resources you have, how can you transform them into something where all the learners can contribute to the learning? Can we have the slide change? Now, how this all started? This is all about the Industrial Revolution, which is called as 1.0, IR 1.0, which started when we discovered coal way back in 1795, when the coal was discovered. Then came the second industrial revolution when gas was discovered. And then came the third industrial revolution when we came about electronics, when we talk about something about like, that was just the beginning of computers and all that. And now is IR 4.0, when we really don't know, what kind of information input we are getting, because it is happening in the fraction of a second. Fraction of a second, we are getting all the info, and here all the educators, all the teachers, all the managers are expected to be equipped with this and to link IR 4.0 with Education 4.0. That's how it is. So having said that, I think so what we are working on, which of course the industry wanted us, or the business plans wanted us to do at the time of 4.0, to enable all the learners to become intelligently deciding what is to be done and how it is to be done. There has to be humanistic element. There has to be, like my colleagues mentioned, Kaushal, there has to be empathy, there has to be understanding. Like Atya said, there has to be some transformation which is to be done and seen and acknowledged and appreciated, and people need to learn from each other. But how is going to happen? We are going to look into the very important stages of Industry 4.0, which talks about aspirational stage. Who is the aspiration? Which particular business community or which particular relevant community, which is contextualized and closer to us, is the aspiration? What is the reactive technology stage? What are we doing about it? How are we reacting to it? What is our understanding? Are we really absorbing it? What is our absorption level? That matters. And I always, when I'm talking to my heads, I always say, ladies, you are excellent when you absorb. You have to absorb that your learners are coming from different backgrounds. There's a lot of heterogeneity in your classes. So you need to train your teachers that there need to be a soft absorption, gradual absorption process, which of course your learners need not realize, but you need to convey it in a way that they are all at the same, and the differentiation, homogeneity, giving away the imparting the education should be in such a way that it becomes a unit. It becomes a unit of knowledge, which is being imparted at all levels. And that comes with a proactive statement. How proactive are we on looking into that what technologies we have in hand? How are we going to move forward? How are we going to develop our curricula? How are we going to look into the very simple pedagogical approaches that are happening from the very early childhood, where the child has innumerable questions in the mind. और कभी कभी हम बहुत आराम से कह देते हैं अब ज़्यादा सवाल मत पूछो. And that is where we are blocking the aspiration, the reaction, and as well as the proactive. What is so important for us to develop such kind of curricula where we have room for questioning, where we have room for critical thinking, and above all, where we have room for global interaction and collaboration across. And when I say across, I mean for all stakeholders: parents, teachers, learners, managers, curriculum developers. That forms the community. Can I have the next slide, please? And this talks about primarily Education 4.0, which is the outcome of IR 4.0, where teachers are acting primarily as coaches, as mentors, where the teachers are to be trained to be empathetic, to be very good listeners, and to motivate them to put the questions and be excellent, giving them the cues and the stimuli all the time, which really, instigate the thought and activate the process of questioning in our young learners, which of course, as we move forward towards our undergrad studies, is extremely beneficial for their research skills and other competencies. These are the things we have already been discussing. I'm not going to elaborate much on that, but of course what I really want to talk about is problem solving, collaboration, and adaptability. What kind of scenarios are we to create in our classrooms where our learners going to give us the solution? Why isn't so that we ask our learners that we have completed the unit on germination, or we have completed the unit on conservation of water? What do you want to have as your unit assessments? Develop a few questions for yourself. And then we swap those questions and try to take one or two questions from our learners to give them that they own this particular assessment. They need to own the assessment. And that will somewhat reduce that big word that we always hear since we were kids till now, which is called as exam anxiety. Why? Come on, we are talking about Z generation. We are talking about millennials and whatnot. And we still talk about those traditional terms, which of course my grandmother, my grandfather must have also heard, exam anxiety. Why? Because they are not the contributors. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि आप पूरे स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन एग्जाम्स को ख़त्म कर दें, लेकिन यूनिट टेस्ट में अगर आपके बच्चे कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं to develop a few questions, I think so that will give them lot of, sort of feeling of empowerment, feeling of that they are helping the teacher, supporting the teacher, and actually they are creating an environment where all of them are very strong collaborators. And that leads to adaptation. Adaptation of an environment that being created by the managers and by the teachers. So things are not so difficult. We have seen it in schools. I'll talk about one of the schools very much in an hour and again, not to mention, but I've seen the visibility of the school leader. Visibility of the school leader from the ground, then in the classroom, then in the library, and then when all sort of engagements were happening, she was very much looking into it, what are the learning outcomes and how things are happening. So it's actually your visibility. If you're visible and you're present and you're being seen by the communities of the school, primarily the parents and the students and the teachers, it will certainly help you to develop those reflective competencies. Can we have the next slide, please? This is a very simple diagram which is primarily focusing on Education 4.0 and primarily focusing on school leadership only. What are the school leaders expected to do? So we are talking about evolving industries and then how industrious are our students? What is happening in terms of all pupils having access to whatever you are saying, and are they contributors to it? So again and again I'm trying to say that in fractional or perhaps sometimes in very obvious sort of a measure, you are doing it in your classrooms and your teachers are doing it, but the linkages with the current era is extremely important. Your child who is with you in early years, in primary years, in juniors, after 10 to 12 years will become a young professional. So what are we doing actually to develop these competencies which the school leaders can primarily do and can give them to give their teachers? This is just a sort of when you are having your coordination meetings, when you are having your insets, when you are talking to them while taking your diagnostic learning walks, you can talk about these things. It's just a matter of open conversations with your teachers, nothing more. Can we go to the next one, please? So how are we going to work on that? There's three-way conference, which is very common, and it's happening in quite a few schools now. The three-way conference involves student as the main speaker. It's not the teacher, it's not the principal. The student is the speaker, the student is the presenter of the work he or she has done, and then teachers and managers are certainly there, they're present there. That's what it is. Interactive portals, which of course you're well aware of. You have your own blogs, you have so much available where parents can also share their thoughts, and of course you can have students now to share their thoughts, and it can be a very interactive portal. And there are quite a few management systems that are providing such portals to schools. What could be an essential agreement of a classroom? An essential agreement of a classroom is simply when again your learners are telling us what are they going to do in the class and what they are not going to do in the class. And I've seen it in grade 2, 3 that learners themselves develop an essential agreement of the class, and it's being put up there, and then they follow it because they have made it themselves. So these are very simple tips where we acquire and then we develop them for the era, for the work, where they have to become independent learners, independent thinkers, problem solvers, and again, above all, they have to manage the conflicts that are coming, we are facing every day. So they have to know what is problem solving so that they can really tackle with the conflicts that they might face, or they might be facing even more than what we have seen. So formative assessment is also one of the ways where you develop and you have a scaffolding of things. And I think this is where the Education 4.0 is really pointing out. Your formative years, your formative way to develop yourself into a contributor for the global or international mindedness or for the global interaction requires the formative development and contribution in terms of producing assessments which are very evaluative in nature. And they should be able to tell you why they are being developed and what are the ways they can be further improved. Again, this has to be done through collaboration and coordination. Can we go to the next one, please? Innovation has been used for now more than 2 to 3 decades. We talk about innovation. But innovation is something which is required in our everyday class, in each and every subject, whether we make it transdisciplinary, interdisciplinary, or disciplinary. Our approach has to be innovative. And for that, there are very simple ways to do that. Give your learners some scenarios, give your learners some tasks which can make them develop a project or develop some sort of a thinking process where they are working together or even individual and then criticizing and critiquing each other. It's very important that you make your learners vocal about things. Let them critique each other. Let them talk about that what can be further done to improve this particular project. I'm sure some of you are already doing it. When we did it last time, one of the eco-enthusiasts that was based on science concept that we were teaching to the middle year students, I remember the students were putting good questions, but this is not something, we cannot do it at annual level and then we just say, all right, it's over. It has to be done in mathematics, science, English, social studies. You have to make them think that why this particular project is useful, what is so constructive about it, and then the other group needs to justify that. And there's no problem if they feel that whatever they are presenting has to improve a bit. You need to work a little more to really produce some learning outcomes out of it. This is what it is. Inquiry, I mean, the word that I'm extremely fond of, inquiry, the words that I really want each and every teacher to be knowing and applying and executing in the classroom is why, how, when, where, who. And they need to put so many WH questions, open-ended questions, that make all of us think about it, why it is happening, how it is happening. Who has done it? Who else can do it? Can I do it in a different way? Why not? Agentic engagements making. Now, agentic is a word I have borrowed from IB, and it's all about developing agency of learning. It's all about making engagements most meaningful through collaboration of agentic leadership, through collaboration of agentic parents, through collaboration and coordination of agentic teachers, which of course as an outcome will develop agentic citizens for international market. That's how it is. Can we have the next slide, please? And the final slide talk about the digital literacies for transdisciplinary and interdisciplinary curriculum. We need to understand that we have to develop the profile of a learner. Incidentally, we were talking to our keynote speaker yesterday, and we talked about the profile building. Of course, a very well-known name, Dr. Farid Panjwani, you will be listening to him tomorrow. And we all agreed upon how the profile of a learner is to be developed. We have an excellent, of course, document, which is, of course, being developed by our GCP's vision, the ultimate product. And this particular product is actually linked, very well linked with our leadership attributes. It's extremely meaningfully linked with the learner profile, and this is what we intend to do. We want to link the ultimate product with the learner profile using, the competencies and attitudes which all the leaders are going to take from here, and they are going to work on that. So the takeaway of the conference will inshallah be very productive attributes of the leadership which you can practically execute in your leadership plan, in your strategic plans of the schools, and see the outcomes. That's what we intend to do, and that's how we are going to conclude the conference. Thank you.